there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lex is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody equal. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me.
Teofimo Lopez, 11-0, 9 KOs. The best to do it right now in the game is to take over. Shout out to BNboxingNews.
Hey, girls, continue. I've been welterweight champion of the world. Everybody go follow BNboxingNews.
Greetings, boxing fans. This is Nick with BNboxingNews coming at you. Speak it, believe it, receive it. One of the famous quotes that Deontay Wilder always talk about. He's a man of his word, man. He's a man of his word. I know after the second fight, he had to find Mark Breland due to throwing in the white flag. And hey, man, this last fight that he just recently had, he pretty much, like I said, went out on his shield. Like he said, hey, let me go out on my shield. I'm that guy who speak about killing somebody in the ring. If it happens to me, it happens to me. I got to give him that, man. He gave it all he had. He gave it all he had on his last fight. I mean, this particular guy, he gave it, nothing but guts, nothing but glory. Okay, against the bigger and better fighter on that night, Tyson Fury. So, with that being said, let me go into it. It's a lot that's coming out, now that it's been a couple of days after the fight. It's a lot that's coming out, and I want to speak on it. Okay, I want to speak on it. I didn't plan on being on here too long, but here's the first thing that came out recently. During a recent interview with Ellie Seckbach, trainer and friend of Deontay Wilder, Malik Scott, has revealed that Deontay Wilder suffered an injury to his hands during the trilogy loss to Tyson Fury. He said, we saw the doctor afterwards. Everything was cool. He got a busted lip. He broke his hands. He broke his finger or knuckle. Life goes on. Yeah, I get that. You could tell by the way he was fighting that his hands was hurting. You could tell that his hands was hurting, and he was trying to fight through adversity and pain, opposed to giving up. You could just tell. But let me say this to you. When they had the whole situation about the patent gloves, the horsehair gloves that Tyson Fury was getting ready to wear, I was watching maybe Tay Jones, who was a part of Deontay Wilder's camp, or it could have been, I think it had to have been Tay Jones. And he said that Deontay Wilder, matter of fact, they had a dispute about the gloves. And Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury came into agreement that Deontay Wilder and both Tyson Fury are going to wear the MX3 gloves. And he also said then, Deontay Wilder has broken his hands with the MX3 gloves in the past, and it could possibly happen. I think this was said because I guess it's a thinner glove, and he doesn't have the extra padding to protect his hands, and it happened to him. It happened to him. Hopefully, Champ gets speedy recovery and healing, and I hope everything works out for him and everything's okay. Like I said, Tyson Fury was the bigger man. That guy knew how to clinch and how to lean. I seen a couple of elbows get in there. I seen a couple of WWE moves where he had Deontay Wilder in a choke move and just leaning on him, man. Deontay Wilder was tired as hell. Deontay started off the first round with the attack in the midsection, with the feints. He looked good, man. He looked good. And Tyson Fury basically just took a different approach. The approach that Tyson Fury took was just being that puncher. He pretty much said that he wanted to knock Deontay Wilder out in the early rounds, and he looked like he was looking for that punch. That didn't come until the 11th round. I'm saying for the stoppage. He did get an early knockdown in the third round. Um, he did get an early knockdown in the third round, but Deontay Wilder came back and got 2 knockdowns in the fourth round. And when that happened, there's a lot of controversy out there. Whereas they're saying that the referee, it was a slow count. Andre Ward was the first one during the fight to point that out. He said it was a slow count, and Tyson Fury should have been counted out. We're not going to use it as this excuse. Whatever happened, happened. Tyson Fury won fair and square. If the fight would have got stopped, it would have got stopped. Obviously, it didn't get stopped, so we have to give Tyson Fury all his props. I mean, that's just what it is. He was the bigger, stronger guy that night. He looked like he came in well conditioned for 12 rounds. You can look at the way how he was breathing and how calm he was in the ring. Deontay Wilder, he wanted it so bad. He wanted it so bad that he just put it all out there, and he gave it his best, man. We take our hats off to both fighters. Right now, there was no losers. I mean, me as a fight fan, I salute both of these guys. I think both of these guys did a tremendous job with Sugar Hill and Tyson Fury. I mean, obviously their game plan was superior to Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott's game plan because, they came out victorious. But at the end of the day, definitely Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. I'm going to roll with Tyson Fury on that one. I don't see where Usyk could touch that big guy. That big guy, no one could touch him. No one could touch him. Salute, Bruce Goes. What's going on, my brother? Just talking a little bit Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. I don't see where Alexander Usyk could touch Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury does the same old old school tactics that he used on Deontay Wilder by leaning on that little frame man. He's gonna break him. He's gonna break him. Just like Ivan Drago said to Rocky, I must break you. So I don't see where it's gonna even matter, man. And like I know, Usyk versus Deontay Wilder will be a better fight. I don't see where anyone else in that division could touch Tyson Fury. I don't see where anyone in that division after Tyson Fury could touch Deontay Wilder. If I had to rank them right now, honestly, I would say Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, then Alexander Usyk being number 3. That's just what it is. But we have to take our hats off to both fighters who gave us what we always been begging and craving for, the best versus the best. We finally got it. And hey, man, Deontay Wilder done a tremendous job. He went out on his shield. I mean, this man was fighting with a broken hand and kept on going. He ain't quit. He didn't quit. I'm going to be honest with you. As a fight fan, we knock those who go out there and quit. That dude didn't quit. So, nah, champ, don't put your head down. Your fans are proud of you, and I'm sure he gained new fans on that night on the way he fought and the way he showed guts and glory. Tyson Fury, of course, by being the better man and winning, he gained some new fans that night. So everybody wins. Everybody wins. And that's just what it is. Um, Regardless of the count situation, hey man, we can't argue about that. It is what it is. You know, if he got away with one, he got away with one. That's just how boxing works. You know, we win some, we lose some. We can't just continue to cry over spoiled milk. You know, I looked at the count, and this is the second knockdown. I looked at the count, and I counted it myself. The referee stopped for a while to address Deontay Wilder, and then he started off where he left off at. You know, I mean, you really can't do that, man. But it is what it is. I mean, I can't. I mean, we can't go back and change what happened. Whatever happened, happened, and we all have to just accept it. We can't keep crying over spilled milk. These two dudes gave it all they had, and at the end of the day, you know, somebody was going to win, somebody was going to lose, and Tyson Fury was the one that came up victorious, and we have to salute him at this point. You know, we have to salute him after his victorious win on that particular night. Deontay Wilder, you know, he's like Gordon Malik Scott, he's going to be okay. Broke his hand, knuckle, finger. They're not exactly sure exactly what he broke, but, you know, he's going to get the treatment necessary, and he'll be back next year, man. He'll be back next year. And I can assure you, it's going to be a whole new Deontay Wilder. Whoever he fight, I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him because you're not as big as Tyson Fury. You can't put that weight on him. He's gonna destroy you. He's gonna destroy you. That's just what it is. Mark my word. I'm still riding with Team Wilder, Bomb Squad, 100%. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I'm gonna salute Tyson Fury because he was the better man that night. But at the end of the day, we all know that Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder will go down as one of the best trilogies ever. You know, that's food for thought. They're going to go down one of the best trilogies ever. Because, I mean, that particular fight had 5 knockdowns. Man, 5 knockdowns. I mean, that was a beautiful thing. I can't even complain about that particular fight. I'm still gassed up off that fight. I'm still gassed up. You know, I liked how Deontay Wilder started the fight, going to the midsection with the little feints, and you know, once Tyson Fury started leaning on him, and he got a successful headshot, he left his game plan and never did return back to his game plan. I seen glimpses of him going, you know, doing some good things, but he didn't return back to what he started off doing, which ultimately cost him the fight. You know, I think if he would have stuck to his game plan and not allow Tyson Fury to throw that weight on him, shift his weight on him, I think ultimately Deontay Wilder wouldn't have been as tired as he was and exhausted as he was, and he would have been able to carry on, you know, because if you look at him, he was fighting with extreme exhaustion from round freaking 2 or 3 all the way to the 11th round, you know, and like I know, and anyone out there know, Tyson Fury didn't knock down Deontay Wilder because he had power. Anyone could have knocked down Deontay Wilder in the 11th round. Deontay Wilder was so tired, any bantamweight, welterweight, could have knocked him down at that point. He was that exhausted. And he had been fighting like that, man, like I said, since the 3rd, 4th round, early rounds. And I just wanted the champ to get his condition back and come back in with come back in and put some pop in their right hand, but he couldn't regain it, man. He was once he was he was just too far gone, tired. Just think about the extra 40 pounds being laid on you like that. Nothing he can do. Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill had a hell of a plan. They done what they were supposed to do. They done what they're supposed to do, and we got to take our hats off to both of them. I'm serious. Sugar Hill, Tyson Fury, I don't think nobody in the heavyweight division can stop them. That's just what it is. And Tyson Fury said it himself. He said Deontay Wilder's number 2 in the division. So that's just what it is. I mean, we gonna roll with that. We're gonna roll with that. And I want to talk about something else about the sportsmanship. As far as the sportsmanship situation, people have to understand how intense this particular fight was. We have to understand this was a very intense fight, whereas two warriors went toe-to-toe. Two warriors went toe-to-toe. And this argument wasn't play. I mean, these dudes really hated each other. These dudes really wanted to knock each other's head off. I mean, these dudes got very personal. These dudes went at each other's head. They went at each other's head. We have to understand that. And through it all, Deontay Wilder still believed that Tyson Fury had a loaded glove for the second fight. And he still believed that Tyson Fury is a dirty fighter. So at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder still has issue with Tyson Fury, which was the reason why he didn't shake his hands. We have to understand that. If someone feels that you cheated them and you done some ill will towards them, man, and you came up victorious in one of the biggest fights ever, in these days, in this current era, and after the fight, they wish to not shake your hands. You have to respect that, man. Guys, we got to put ourselves in that man's shoes. We can't just automatically say what we should do. We got to put our hands in that man's shoes. That man particularly just said, now maybe later on, when he cools off, when he accepts everything that's going on with himself, he may come back and he'll speak more on it, and he may apologize or whatever he wished to do at that particular time. But right there in the heated moment, man, we have to understand. I wouldn't have shook his hands either. And I didn't expect anything different from Deontay Wilder. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel, and comment below. I like to interact with everyone that's looking at this particular video. I love to interact with you. I love to chop it up with you. So just make sure you comment below. If you think I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. If you think I'm right, let me know I'm right. Everyone has an opinion. And it's okay to share your opinion on this particular channel. It's okay to tell me how you feel, about Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. It's okay to let me know who you think is the best. If you think Alexander Usyk is now the best heavyweight champion, it's okay. I definitely think that Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight champion right now in our current era. I think Deontay Wilder comes right behind him, and regardless of being a Wilder fan, I gotta say it because Tyson Fury won the trilogy. Regardless of how he won the trilogy, he won the trilogy. So, I'm not gonna be a sore loser, and and say anything different. I mean, regardless of how he won the trilogy, and he was the better man. And at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure our former champ Deontay Wilder will get his stuff together, and he'll be back, man. I don't see it any different. I definitely see that he will be back. He will one day soon, you know, get one of the belts, if not all of the belts. Depends on how this particular division goes, you know. So I just basically, like I said, I'm gonna support the heavyweight division. We have a lot of new. We got Sanchez out there. He looked good. He looked good versus F.S. Jogba. We got that boy Big Baby Anderson. He's looking good. So we got some contenders out there in the heavyweight division. You know, we got some contenders out there in the heavyweight division. So we don't know how this heavyweight division is gonna shift. But at the end of the day, we all know who bought the heavyweight division back. It's all good. Kieran, what's going on, man? This man said he won't get any of the Deontay Wilder won't get any of the belts back. Any of the belts, he wants to humble himself first. Yeah, man. I mean, it's the procedure, it's the process, it's the process, it's a process. It's a process. We got to give that man time, Kieran. We got to give him time. You got to give him time. Boy, Bruce Gold said, peace, bro. This was the best Saturday in boxing in a while. Boxing is back. Definitely. And that's the side I'm coming from. I'm coming from, man, one of the greatest fights I've seen in a while. Boxing is back. They got to keep it up. We got some more great boxing coming up in November. They got to have one of these, man, every month. At least one a month, I think, to feed the boxing fans. And I think we'll be satisfied. At least one of these type of fights a month. You know, because at the end of the day, like I said, the fans won. I think I won. I think you guys won. Just watching, just being able to see this particular great fight. You know, I don't see whereas anyone lost. Tyson Fury did a tremendous job. His game plan was to get bigger and lean on Deontay Wilder because they saw where it worked in the second fight, and they went back to it, and it worked for him. You know, simple and plain. Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder, they had a great game plan. Deontay Wilder came in with their game plan, but he didn't stick to the game plan because of fatigue. He got real tired. Due to Tyson Fury leaning on him, and he couldn't carry on with the game plan. And we all know everybody has a plan until you get punched in your mouth. You know, Tyson Fury said it best. Iron Mike Tyson said it best. We all have a plan until you get punched in your mouth. Then most of the time what we do is we derail our game plan. And once we derail our game plan, it's curtains, you know. Deontay Wilder knows what he needs. He needs road work. And if you don't know what road work means, it means conditioning. That means running. That means putting your feet to the pavement and jogging, running, building up that stamina, building up that air, conditioning your heart. All right, conditioning yourself to where you can fight 12 to 15 rounds, you know, with that particular weight that he's carrying, the 238-pound weight that he's carrying now with all that muscle. I think that played a part in his defeat. I think that he wasn't quite as agile as Tyson Fury. I think that he should have, and I mean, he may have done that. I don't know exactly what he done, so I'm not calling him out saying that he didn't do those things. I'm just thinking that he, you know, he may have probably needed more, you know, because as tired as he was, as early as he was, man, you should have saw me, man, I was up in arms. I didn't want to see him like that. I didn't want to see him in that state. It felt like we was watching fight 2 all over again, you know, very early in the fight, you know, but he was able to carry on. He was able to continue to carry on, you know, without someone like a Mark Breedlin stopping the fight. He kept it pumping, you know, he kept it going, and that's why, you know, we salute him for that. Kieran says, what more does Fury have to prove now? He's done it all. I don't think there's anyone out there who can beat him. Obviously, anyone can be knocked out, but anyone out there who can beat him. Kieran, my brother, I salute you. I agree with you. No one out there could beat Tyson Fury right now. The only one out there that we all thought or we all knew had the highest chance of beating him, he just beat this past Saturday, who is Deontay Wilder. The only thing left for Tyson Fury to do now is to become undisputed. Tyson Fury should go after Alexander Usyk, get those belts. Once he get those belts, go ahead and retire, man. You done did your thing. You done did your thing. I wouldn't stick around for them young boys like a Jared Anderson to come up and catch you at a later age and destroy you. That's all he'll be doing, is sticking around waiting for one of them young boys to come up and get him. So I definitely think that he should go ahead and just go after Alexander Usyk. I wouldn't go after no one else. See, can he become undisputed, and then lead the sport, you know? Leave the sport with all his faculties, because we all know he took some tremendous punches from Deontay Wilder now. He came out victorious, but we all saw that Deontay Wilder laid some hands on him. So with that being said, you don't want to continue to take that kind of punishment with a big dude hitting you like that, man. That's gonna wear down on you. You know, you got to understand, him and Deontay Wilder both took a lot of punishment. Deontay Wilder taking more punishment than him, but that affects you long term. I mean, Deontay Wilder, with the type of punishment that he took last Saturday, you know, made him a 37-year-old guy instead of a 35-year-old guy. Tyson Fury, instead of being a 32, 33-year-old guy, he's probably now a 35-year-old guy. I mean, that punishment went out on you. It went out on you, and with that being said, you don't want to continue to take that on. Tyson Fury needs to go ahead and become undisputed. You know, getting those belts from Alexander Usyk. If Alexander Usyk wants to, if he wants that particular fight, he wants to go back at it, and then, you know, just once you get those belts, man, just carry on. Just carry on. If you hadn't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I definitely appreciate the support. And when I say support, I mean just subscribing to me, man. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need nothing else right now but that. But definitely, Kieran, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you, and that's what I'm saying to you, bro. He don't need it. I mean, there's nothing out there. I mean, we don't. He continue to fight. Nothing good out there that's gonna happen to him. One of them young bulls gonna come out there and gonna hit him with a nice shot, like even a Jared Anderson in another year or two, gonna come out there and it's gonna destroy him. So, with that being said, he might as well just continue to just, you know, go try to get undisputed and carry on with his life, man. Eric Fisher, what's going on, my brother? Out of curiosity, what separates a random guy who gets in the ring and gets KO'd and being called a bum, and Wilder, who gets told he has the heart of a warrior for doing exactly the same thing. It's a big ass difference, man. It's a big ass difference. Wilder could have quit in the earlier round. And by him not quitting in the earlier rounds, facing adversity, breaking his hand and carrying on, that's what make him have a heart of a champion. Whereas a bum will go out there and just get knocked out and give up in the early rounds. Wilder didn't do that. He fighting through adversity and carrying on makes you have that heart of a warrior. That's what it is. You know, a lot of people, man. I'll give you a good one. What's his name? Adam Kornacki, babyface. After Helenius put them paws on his ass, he was trying to look for a way out. He was starting to try to hit the man low and all that stuff because he wanted the referee to stop the fight. That's the difference between him and Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder didn't look for a way out. Deontay Wilder fought his ass off and kept on trying to just give it all he had until he couldn't give it no more. That's the difference, bro. You know, you can't call somebody who defending a belt, you know, for 10 years straight, you know, a bum, bro. Come on, man. Come on, better than that. Thank you, Karan. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you subbing my channel, man. Rob Gibson. Let me see what Rob got to say. I wouldn't say Wilder has a heart of a warrior. It's his job, bro. I got it. Did he even break his hand? I think it's another excuse. This guy got plenty of them. Nah, he really broke his hand. He really broke his hand. But like I said, I'll put it back up there. They said he broke his hand, but it's no excuse. You know, Tyson Fury beat him, bro. Tyson Fury beat him. Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder, bro. Ain't no bullshit where they can say this man cheated or anything like that. This man beat him. And fair and square. See, Malik Scott talked to Ellis Setback that same night of the fight, and he basically said that they saw a doctor afterwards, and they said he had a broken hand and a broken finger or knuckle. And that was the whole reason why they said he didn't wear MX gloves, because MX gloves didn't protect his hands. And he had a greater chance of breaking his hands, which ended up happening that night. So I don't think it's an excuse. He never said, this is why I lost. I mean, he lost because Tyson Fury was the better man that night. Tyson Fury had a better game plan. What I mean is no one chooses to go to sleep. I'm not talking about someone quitting. No, I mean, if somebody catch you, you get caught. You can't control that, bro. I mean, let's say this here, bro. Anyone has the heart to get in the ring with another man who's out there trying to take your life should not be called a bum. That's number one. As a fight fan, if you're calling any fighter a bum, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to give any fight fan the right to call a fighter a bum for something that many of us who know our asses won't do. So how we have the audacity to call someone a bum that's willing to go out there and put their life on the line, some shit that we wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Some of us did it for a little while, and we didn't make it like them. So we can't call a fighter a bum. I don't use that word. I don't call fighters bums. You know, I don't call fighters bums. Rob Gibson, still one of the best heavyweight fights though, bro. Yeah, damn right. One of the best heavyweight fights, one of the best trilogies. And listen, Rob, that's what happens when the best fight the best. That's some shit that a lot of these other weight divisions, they don't want to do. That's why they avoid it. And that's why we got 3 fights. We got 3 fights because those guys were the best in that particular division. You know, and Tyson Fury coming up victorious in the 3rd fight. Dude, I'm not a Tyson Fury fan, but I got to give it to him, bro. I'm still a Deontay Wilder fan. But bigger than that, I'm a fan of boxing, bro. So at the end of the day, I gotta call a spade a spade. Tyson Fury, #1 in the heavyweight division, bro. No matter how much it burns my throat to say that. I gotta call a spade, bro. Period. Best one of the best fights, I agree. Rob Gibson Kid again said, going back to work. See you next cast. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for joining us today, man. Thank you. I appreciate you, Rob. Eric Fisher, I agree with you. Yeah, man. I'm gonna call a spade, bro. I try to keep it real, man. Than other boxing channels, I try to keep it real. I try to keep it consistent. I'm not always right, man. I'm the first one to get on here and tell you, look, dude, I called it wrong. I'll just call it like I see it. I call it like I see it, man. And Tyson Fury, and I know some of the guys talking about excuses. If the man really broke his hand, he broke his hand. He kept on. Now, I would have called it an excuse. I'm gonna tell you when I would have called it an excuse. Right after he broke his hand in the 4th round, when he hit Tyson Fury in his head and broke his hand, if he would have quit in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round complaining of his hand, I would have said, man, my dude full of excuses. By him continue to fight with adversity, I can't call him that, bro. I can't call it an excuse. He gave it all he got and kept on going. And due to giving it all he got and kept on going, I got to call a spade and say, dude, you have a heart of a warrior, bro, true champion. And Tyson Fury, being that guy who walks around, light on his feet, a freaking tremendous boxer. I mean, that dude Tyson Fury, he could box his ass off, and he just, Sugar Hill taught him some shit that, old tricks that his uncle might have showed him. Emanuel Stewart, the great Emanuel Stewart showed him that worked. He went back to the crunk, man, and got his tools. And once he got those tools, that made him who he is today. And I don't think that Tyson Fury can be stopped. I don't think he can be stopped, bro. It's gonna have to, only person that could probably stop him, the person gonna have to be, you will have to catch him. You will have to catch Tyson Fury early. And like he said himself, any man can be knocked out. You gotta knock him out. If you don't knock out Tyson Fury, he's gonna finish you off. So with that being said, we all know Usyk is not a puncher like that. Usyk is a tremendous boxer. So if you can't knock out Tyson Fury, you're not gonna beat him. And that's just what it is. So if you can't knock him out, you gotta just go ahead and just call the curtains for you, because he will lean on your ass. He's gonna tire you out, and then he's gonna thrash you. You seen him do it Saturday, and don't mean he's gonna stop doing it today. That's just what it is. I mean, he beat a hell of a fighter. He beat a hell of a fighter. And to see Deontay Wilder in the manner that he was in, man, that shit hurt my heart. Nobody likes to see their fighter, looking like that. I mean, I didn't like it at all, bro. It was, like a king falling from glory, bro. But at the end of the day, it was a great fighting. I loved every second of it. I love to see two warriors go at it toe to toe, and those two warriors, man, they both gave it all they got. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you what won the fight for whoever. Whoever had the better condition, and whoever had the best game plan and stuck to their game plan would win. And that's exactly what won it for Tyson Fury. just having that good game plan and sticking to it, regardless of the adversities, regardless of being knocked down twice. Being knocked down twice in the fourth round. Coming back, going back to what you know. And that's exactly what he done. He shook that shit off, being saved by the bell, going back in the fifth round like it never happened. I mean, at the same time, I'm looking at Deontay Wilder, tired as hell, breathing from his mouth, exhausted, and just, man, just looking at him, just, ear busted up already at that time because he got hit square in the head, which looked like his equilibrium got thrown off then. Just kind of remind me of Fight 2, man. And I'm like, damn. Come on, champ. Let's go, champ. Let me see what Eric said. Eric Fisher said, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit soft. I look at these two guys as athletes. If they are hurt, they need to be protected from themselves sometimes. I agree. I've said in several past videos, I understand why he fired Mark Breland. I understand that was his rule, and he did what he chose to do. You got to support him on that, but I agree with Mark Breland. I would have stopped the shit too. Because sometimes, like you just said, we got to protect athletes from themselves. And in that case, Deontay Wilder is one of those dudes, man. We got to protect him from himself. I understand he has a puncher's chance and everything, but at the end of the day, man, taking a beating, he took a fucking beating, bro. I don't know if everyone realized that. Deontay Wilder took a beating for numerous rounds. I mean, starting from round 5 to round 11. I don't know if he may have gotten one round out of round 5 to 7. From round 5 to 11, you could possibly give him one round out of that. Max 2 rounds out of that. Just give him 2 rounds. But the rest of those rounds, he took a beating. Tyson Fury beat him up. Think about the wear and tear. Think about the CTE. That's been conversation in all sports. CTEs and shit like that, getting hit in the head. Because Tyson Fury wasn't hitting him in the midsection. Tyson Fury was straight headhunting. He was straight headhunting him. So, all of that shit wear you down, man. I think Eric Fisher said, I think we have moved past the days of guys dying in the ring. No, I don't think we have, man. I knew a guy personally, man, that died in the ring a couple of years ago, man. Pat Day, man. So I think about Pat Day all the time, man. And believe it or not, a young girl, a young boxer, female boxer, died about a month ago in the ring. And on top of that, bare knuckle, someone just died in the ring recently from bare knuckle. Bare knuckle fighter. Someone just died in the ring, maybe about a week ago. So, nah, bro, that shit's still relevant. That shit still happens. Sometimes, believe it or not, Eric, these guys will go home or they'll leave the ring and then they'll slip into a coma. And that's why, I like to hear, like when Malik Scott came back and was like, man, Champ is good, man. I spoke to him again. It's kind of like he's in his hotel room. I walk him there, I talk to him. I like to hear that to make sure he's still good, to make sure he ain't in no freaking hospital. Because sometimes by the time you get the damn news, they done slip into a coma and they all fucked up. We having these kind of conversations. This dude's here fighting for his life. Don't do it for my entertainment, bro. Don't take a beating like that for my entertainment. Hell no. Eric Fisher came back again and said, "I'm a culture of boxing fans. We should not be begging for KOs." Nah, bro. I mean, that's just reality, though. Do we? Yeah. But believe it or not, on the other end of the stick, it was one of my favorite fighters, bro, that got KO'd. So believe it or not, I wasn't I wasn't I wasn't with it. I didn't like it, man. I actually wanted him to go to the judges' scorecard. Um, we all knew at that point, the 11th round, that Tyson Fury was going to come out victorious. You know, I didn't want, I didn't want to see him stopped, and I think at this point in time, Deontay's felt like, hey, I had 1 or 2 rounds left to go. If I make it to the judges' scorecard, I know I lost, but let me give it my best for these last 2 rounds, and hopefully I'm able to land the right hand and stop him. You know, because that's what he always said. He needs to be good for what, a couple of seconds or whatever. But if you looked at his right hand or even his left, he had no pop in that shit. Tyson Fury is walking straight through that shit. I mean, this dude was so tired. You know, he was so tired, dude, that it was irrelevant for him to even continue to even fight. You know, it was just, nah, man, where's my Brilliant at? Throw in that damn towel, bro. Fuck. You know, it was irrelevant for him to even fight, bro. I didn't see the relevance to him to just continue to let this man just pound on him like that. Nah, I believe you, Eric. You saying you had it the eighth for Fury, so you know expert. Nah, I mean, at that point, like I told you, past the 5th round, Deontay Wilder was so tired, dude. He couldn't do no more, bro. It was just he was strictly just fighting for a puncher's chance of just landing something. But even what he was throwing had no pop on it. Had no pop. So if his shit had no pop, he wasn't gonna get nothing to land. You know, that was gonna even affect Tyson Fury. And don't get it twisted, fight Tyson Fury took some hard ones. I seen Tyson Fury in the middle of the ring shaking his shit off. Like, damn, this dude's still landing strong punches. But Tyson Fury's walking right through him. Walking right through him, clinching him, throwing that weight on him. And Deontay Wilder got to understand, Tyson Fury is used to walking around as the big guy. He's used to that shit. He's a big, agile type dude that's used to walking around with a lot of weight on him. Even Deontay Wilder said, dude was 400 pounds at one time, or very close to it. So he's used to carrying that kind of weight. And by him being used to carry that kind of weight, bro, that's just how he got around. So I know I didn't think that Tyson Fury was in shape. And I didn't think Tyson Fury was taking the fight serious. And at the end of the day, shit, Tyson Fury came to fight, bro. Tyson Fury came to fight. Tyson Fury actually said what he's going to do, and he done it, bro. The last 2 fights, he called that shit and did what he said he was going to do. So that's just what it is, man. I mean, I salute both fighters. I would like to thank both fighters for that, for the great fight, for giving the fans what they wanted, for giving us what they wanted, for giving us what we wanted. If you aren't here and if you hadn't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Show me some love. I appreciate it. That's just what it is, man. I like to see the best fight the best, and we got that shit. And I can't complain. I don't think anyone can complain. You know, I don't think anyone can complain. There's a link straight to my channel. So anyone that wants to subscribe, just click on the link, and that's my channel. Just go ahead and subscribe to me if you can. if you hadn't already subscribed to me. But with that being said, guys, man, Eric Fisher, thank you. Rob Gibson, thank you. Kiran, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Bruce Goes, thank you. Thank you all for joining my channel. Thank you all for subscribing to my channel. Thank you all for the comments. And I appreciate y'all. And wait, what you said, Eric said, I think a lot of people underestimate Tyson Fury's chin. Shit. The dude got a chin, bro. He got a hell of a chin. But the thing about it is, he calls himself trying to walk through your punches. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Can't keep doing that shit, bro. After a while, it's gonna take a toll on his ass. So he gotta stop just taking the punishment. You know, that shit's not meant. That shit's not meant. But I appreciate you, Eric Fisher. I appreciate you, my brother. And I think that we was on here close to an hour. And I appreciate everything and everyone that came through today. And this was a very great time with everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you show me love. I definitely appreciate it. Tyson Fury came out victorious. Tyson Fury did what he was supposed to do. And we all should appreciate Tyson Fury. And we all need to show Tyson Fury love and respect for what he's done. And can't take nothing away from either fighter. I think that both fighters did what they were supposed to do. And at the end of the day, it was a great fight. Because guess what? Everybody's satisfied. I see a lot of Deontay Wilder fans that's still happy just because they got the fight, regardless of who won. You know, we still happy that we was able to see the fight. We was able to talk about how great of a trilogy it was. And that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for is for a great fight, and we got that. We got a great fight. And again, before I get out of here, let me say this. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I just dropped the link in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. When we on here, I like to interact with my subscribers, and we talk. Share your opinion. You know, just keep the racial shit out of it, and just talk boxing. It's okay to say your opinion. It's okay to say what you feel. Let's get an understanding of each other, and let's have some clarity. And I guarantee we'll have some great boxing talk. And I appreciate everyone that subscribed to my channel, everyone that interacted with me today. And like I said, it was a great one today, man. Hats off to Tyson Fury. Hats off to Deontay Wilder. Both fighters come in and they gave it their best. And with that being said, with them giving their best, we can't take shit from them. You know, we can't take shit from them. It was a great matchup. Tyson Fury coming up victorious. We got to, and I say this again, no one in the heavyweight division could beat Tyson Fury. No one. Or Xander Usyk might well go ahead and just hand over those belts to Tyson Fury. Go ahead and just hand over those belts to Tyson Fury. Let him become undisputed. Once he becomes undisputed, let Tyson Fury go ahead and just retire. And once he retires, the belts are out there for all the young bulls. All the young bulls could take over the belts and do what they got to do. But at the end of the day, it was a great trilogy. It will go down in history. And I feel good to say that, hey, I saw that fight. I know that fight. Matter of fact, I was at Wilder Fury 1. I was there. So I can say, hey, I was at Wilder Fury 1. I went to a fight party and saw Wilder Fury 2. And another fight party to see Wilder Fury 3. And you know, even though the guy I was going for didn't win, I still take my hat off to both fighters because both of them came out healthy. Both of them able to go back home to their family. And it was a great fight for the fans. And the fans definitely won. The fans definitely won. I came out a winner by having seen this great fight. You know, and with that being said, this is Nick of BNboxing News. Make sure you subscribe. Click on the link in the chat and subscribe to me. And y'all know how I do. Peace, and we out of here.